There's a smell you already know. You've walked into a nursing home and caught it. You've hugged an older relative and noticed it. You've borrowed a sweater from your parents and it was just there. A faint, greasy, slightly stale scent that clings to fabric, hangs in closed rooms, and seems impossible to scrub away, no matter how much soap, perfume, or air freshener you throw at it. Most people politely pretend it doesn't exist, but science doesn't pretend. In 2001, a Japanese research team, led by Dr. Shinichiro Hayes at Shiseido, published a landmark study in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology that identified the exact compound responsible for this odor. It's called 2-nonenal, an unsaturated aldehyde with a greasy, grassy scent. And here's the part that might make you uncomfortable. It was detected only in subjects aged 40 and older, not sometimes, only. The study found that omega-7 unsaturated fatty acids on your skin begin oxidizing at a rapidly increasing rate once you pass 40, because your body's natural antioxidant defenses start declining. The byproduct of that oxidation is 2-nonenal. And unlike regular sweat-based body odor, which is water-soluble and washes off with soap, nonenal is lipid-based. It bonds to fabric. It resists scrubbing. Regular soap and water barely touch it. Americans spend over $8 billion a year on deodorants and antiperspirants trying to mask this problem. The North American deodorant market alone reached $8.85 billion in 2025, according to market data forecast. And it's projected to nearly double by 2034. That's a lot of money spent covering up a smell instead of addressing why it happens. But halfway around the world, Chinese elders in their 60s, 70s, and 80s move through crowded markets, share tiny apartments with their grandchildren, and practice Tai Chi in packed public parks. And this smell is dramatically less prevalent, not because of genetics, not because of some expensive product, because of 11 daily habits that attack the root biochemistry of aging odor before it ever reaches the skin's surface. And today, you're getting all 11. If you want to keep learning habits that quietly transform your health, subscribe to Sino Living right now. Let's begin. Before we get to the habits, you need to understand why your body starts betraying you after 40, and why most Western solutions completely miss the target. The process works in 4 stages. First, your sebaceous glands produce lipid acids, fatty oils on your skin's surface. Second, those lipids get oxidized by oxygen in the air. Third, this oxidation accelerates dramatically after 40 because your skin's natural antioxidant shield weakens with age. And fourth, the oxidation produces nonenal. Here's why deodorant doesn't fix it. Traditional deodorant targets bacteria that feed on sweat from your apocrine glands, the glands in your armpits. That's a completely different odor pathway. Nonenal comes from your sebaceous glands, which are distributed across your entire body. Chest, back, scalp, neck, behind the ears. You can't roll deodorant on your entire torso. And a 2012 study published in PLOS One by Mitro and colleagues found that young participants could easily identify and distinguish the scent of older adults aged 75 to 95 from younger age groups, confirming that this isn't imagined. It's chemically distinct and perceptually recognizable. The question isn't whether aging odor is real, it's whether it's inevitable. Chinese traditional medicine has argued for centuries that it's not, and modern science is starting to agree. Rule 1. Drink green tea daily. Yin cha, pa cha. The green tea catechins, particularly EGG, the most abundant catechin in green tea, are potent antioxidants that directly neutralize the free radicals responsible for oxidizing fatty acids on your skin. Green tea attacks stage 2 and 3 simultaneously. It slows the oxidation of skin lipids, and it replenishes the antioxidant defenses that weaken with age. The average Chinese adult drinks green tea multiple times daily, not as a health fad but as a cultural default. In offices, in homes, in restaurants, there's always a cup. The average American over 40, meanwhile, drinks coffee, which contains no catechins, and can actually increase cortisol, amplifying stress-based odor pathways. Rule 2. Eat plants first, meat second. 蔬菜为主, 宁菜为主. The American plate inverts this completely. A 12-ounce steak with a small side of broccoli. Diets high in red meat, processed foods, and refined sugars accelerate the production of advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which are harmful compounds formed when proteins or fats combine with sugars in your bloodstream. Increased accumulation of AGEs is directly correlated with accelerated skin aging, and skin aging is what drives non-nenal production. A plant-forward diet rich in cruciferous vegetables, leafy greens, and antioxidant-dense foods does the opposite. It floods your system with polyphenols, flavonoids, and vitamins C and E, all of which reinforce your skin's antioxidant barrier against fermented foods regularly. 发酵食品, 发酵食品, 发酵食品. Kimchi, a 10-week diet high in fermented foods, significantly increased gut microbiome diversity and decreased 19 markers of inflammation. Members of the gut microbiome directly influence skin conditions through their metabolic activity and immunological impact. A healthier, more diverse microbiome reduces systemic inflammation, and chronic inflammation is one of the key accelerators of lipid peroxidation on your skin. In other words, the Chinese grandmother eating homemade pickled cabbage every morning isn't just maintaining her digestion. She's maintaining an internal ecosystem that keeps her skin chemistry younger and her body odor cleaner than her biological age would suggest. If you're learning something new, hit that like button right now. It tells the algorithm that Sino living is worth sharing. Let's continue. Rule 4. Drink warm water, not ice water. Hei rei shui. A rei shui. Warm water supports better hydration absorption and smoother digestion, which reduces the internal buildup of metabolic waste. TCM practitioners have long connected this internal dampness and heat accumulation to body odor. Cold, sugary drinks, the American default, do the opposite. They deliver a spike of glucose that feeds AGE production, a dose of artificial chemicals your body must process and excrete, and a thermal shock that TCM argues disrupts digestive efficiency. The habit costs nothing. It requires no willpower. It's simply reaching for warm water instead of a cold soda. And over decades, that small substitution compounds into dramatically different internal chemistry. Rule 5. Move your body gently every morning. 晨练, 起练. 75.7% walk as their primary form of exercise, while 66.1% practice Tai Chi, Qigong, or dance in public parks every morning. Gentle movement stimulates lymphatic drainage, your body's waste removal system, without triggering the stress sweat response. Stress triggers a distinct skin gas emission containing allyl mercaptan and dimethyl trisulfide, compounds that cause tension, confusion, and fatigue in people who smell them. Importantly, the researchers found that this stress odor was not produced during physical exercise alone, only during psychological stress. The Chinese morning park routine delivers the metabolic benefits of movement: improved circulation, better toxin clearance, enhanced skin oxygenation, without the cortisol-driven stress sweat that intensifies body odor. Rule 6. Wear natural fibers. Tian ran mian liao. Tian ran mian liao. Chinese daily clothing, particularly for older generations, skews heavily toward natural fibers: cotton, linen, silk, and bamboo blends. Natural fibers breathe, wick moisture, and create an environment hostile to odor-causing bacteria. When non-nenal, an oil-based compound, meets a polyester shirt, it bonds to the synthetic fibers and refuses to leave, even after washing. When it meets cotton or linen, the natural fiber absorbs and releases it far more readily. The American wardrobe after 40 is dominated by synthetic athleisure, polyester blends, and performance fabrics marketed as moisture wicking. Ironically, these fabrics may be wicking moisture while simultaneously trapping and amplifying aging odor. Rule 7. Sleep early and sleep enough. 早睡, 早睡. 30.5% of American adults, approximately 83.6 million people, sleep less than 7 hours per night. Sleep deprivation elevates cortisol. Elevated cortisol triggers stress sweat from apocrine glands. Chinese cultural norms prioritize early sleep in a way American culture simply doesn't. The traditional practice follows the body clock outlined in the Huangdi Neijing, China's foundational medical text, which prescribes solid sleep during the Zi hour, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., when yin energy peaks. Consistent, adequate sleep is one of the most powerful and most overlooked strategies for reducing the oxidative cascades that produce aging odor. Rule 8. Herbal soups that clear internal heat. 清热汤, 清热汤. TCM traces body odor to the accumulation of dampness and heat that steams outward through the skin. Many of the ingredients in these soups, barley, mung bean, chrysanthemum, are rich in anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds. That heat-clearing Chinese herbs can relieve pathological changes through measurable anti-inflammatory mechanisms. The American approach to body odor after 40 is almost entirely external. Stronger deodorant, more perfume, scented laundry detergent. The Chinese approach works from the inside out. Rule 9. Minimize processed and fried food. 少吃加工, 少吃加工. Hygiene accelerate skin aging at the cellular level. They cross-link collagen fibers, stiffen skin, and, critically, increase oxidative stress in the dermis. More oxidative stress means more lipid peroxidation. More lipid peroxidation means more non-nane. Traditional Chinese cooking methods, steaming, boiling, quick stir-frying, and slow simmering, produce dramatically fewer AGEs than the deep frying and high-temperature roasting. A bowl of steamed fish with ginger and scallion generates a fraction of the AGEs of a plate of fried chicken. This dietary pattern isn't about deprivation. Chinese food is extraordinarily flavorful. It simply achieves that flavor through technique and seasoning, rather than through the high-heat Maillard reactions that load your body with age-accelerating compounds. Rule 10. Bathe strategically, not excessively. 湿足洗澡, 湿足洗澡. Overwashing strips the skin of its natural lipid barrier and disrupts the skin microbiome, the delicate ecosystem of beneficial bacteria that keeps pathogenic, odor-producing bacteria in check. When you shower aggressively with hot water and harsh soap twice a day, your skin responds by overproducing sebum to compensate, potentially increasing the very fatty acids that oxidize into nonenal. The Chinese approach is strategic. Bathe thoroughly, but not excessively. Use warm, not scalding, water, and don't strip the skin's natural protective layer. But dermatological science increasingly supports the idea that daily aggressive showering may be doing more harm than good for body odor management, especially after 40. Rule 11. Manage stress instead of ignoring it. 精神, 精神. Stress doesn't just make you feel bad, it makes you smell different. And the people around you can unconsciously detect it. Chinese cultural practices build stress regulation into daily life in ways American culture doesn't. The morning Tai Chi session, the afternoon tea ritual, the evening walk, the practice of Jingzuo, quiet sitting. The average American over 40, by contrast, spends nearly 7 hours per day on screens, rarely moves gently, and has no culturally embedded stress reduction practice. The cortisol stays elevated. The stress sweat stays active. The skin gas compounds accumulate, and the result is a body that chemically broadcasts tension to everyone in the room. Here's what happens when you stack all 11 rules together. Green tea floods your system with catechins that directly block lipid peroxidation. A plant-forward diet reduces AGEs and reinforces antioxidant defenses. Fermented foods diversify your gut microbiome and lower systemic inflammation. Warm water supports metabolic waste clearance. Gentle morning movement improves circulation without triggering stress sweat. Together, they create a biochemical environment where non-missile production is suppressed at every stage of the pathway, from fatty acid production, to oxidation, to bacterial amplification, to fabric retention. This is why a 70-year-old Chinese grandmother sharing a one-bedroom apartment with her grandchildren doesn't fill the room with old person smell. It's not one product or one trick. It's an entire lifestyle that treats the body as an integrated system rather than a surface to be sprayed and masked. There's a moment that happens to almost everyone after 40. You catch a scent on your own pillow or your own collar that you don't recognize, and something quiet and uncomfortable stirs, a realization that your body is changing in ways you didn't expect and can't control. But here's what Chinese wisdom teaches. You can control more than you think. Not by buying stronger products, not by showering harder, but by changing the internal chemistry that produces the odor in the first place. Through what you eat, what you drink, how you move, how you sleep, and how you manage the stress that silently rewires your body chemistry every single day. These 11 rules aren't exotic. They're ordinary daily choices that Chinese families have made for centuries. And starting today, they can be yours. If this video changed how you think about aging and your body, subscribe to Sino Living and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Drop a comment below telling me which rule surprised you the most. I read every single one. And share this with someone over 40 who deserves to know the truth about what's really causing that smell. I'll see you in the next one.